What's up, football heads? Welcome back to that show. As always, I'm your host, Kyle McQueen. He is Cesar Rodriguez. The boys are back after a nice holiday week off, Thanksgiving. I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving. Caesar, how was your Thanksgiving?
Uh, it's nice, stressful. I absolutely hated it, but I loved it at the same time.
Well,
I
you
had the
hosted,
family.
right?
Yeah, I was hosting first time, my new house, my family. My parents came in, my uncle came in, my grandmother came in, my in-laws came in. It was a lot of people, and my
Oh,
brother
God, yeah.
India came in with his wife. So it's just too many people in my own house for my own taste. It was nice having them over because it was the first time we're all together as a family since we moved in together to the new house. That's all nice and dandy, but it is not worth the stress to prepare for that and the stress of having to clean up after. So yeah, I do not recommend anybody hosting Thanksgiving ever. It was a
Yeah,
nice time
nah.
though, very nice though.
I'm firmly I will come to your place guy. I had a nice friendsgiving. That's the tradition now, and
Nice.
I didn't have to clean. I All I had to do was clean up my stuff, make my little dish, bring it over, clean and it took me like 3 days to get around to cleaning it. But
Just offer to, give a hand out to like take the garbage bag out. That's all you have to do when you're visiting someone. Yeah.
yeah, well,
Yeah, but it was
tell
nice.
me,
So that's nice. It's nice you got a nice Thanksgiving over there in Cali with your buddies in the Friendsgiving. I never had a Friendsgiving when it was called Friendsgiving. I was just having
mm,
Thanksgiving dinner with friends. I don't know why we decided to call it Friendsgiving, but whatever.
yeah, I don't know. It's the same thing. You're thankful for your friends. It's still Thanksgiving. It is what it is. But
Yeah, it is.
I was about to say, like, you've definitely had one because like we have had Thanksgiving together before.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, but it was never called Friendsgiving. It was just, hey,
yeah,
we're having Thanksgiving dinner at my place. Like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I mean, what the fuck am I gonna do? Fly out to my parents in Puerto Rico? No.
not worth it. Especially you got to turn around and go
Yeah,
visit the family for the
no,
real holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever your brand of holiday is.
no,
But
no
anyway,
offense to the Thanksgiving fanatics over there.
none taken, I guess, on behalf of the fanatics. But that was last Thursday. This Thursday, I'm very thankful, and I'm sure Al Michaels is very thankful because
For another great.
we got the 9-3 Green Bay Packers in a divisional matchup, headed to the Motor City to take on the 11-1 Detroit Football Lions, suffering from a ton of injuries. I talked about it earlier in the week. 11
11.
guys out in their front seven. The math isn't mathing, but somehow it's true. 11 guys out in the front seven. But the Packers got some people missing too. You sent me the graphic earlier. Jair Alexander's out. Corey Ballantyne is out. Who else? Edrin Cooper. I don't know how much he's been doing. I liked him coming out in the draft. I don't know what he's been doing. Romeo Dobbs is out. So a lot of
It's
injuries here late in the season in one of the black and blue divisions in the league, the NFC North. But who
it's
you
been
like? You like
wild
the
this whole season.
Packers? You like the Packers, who are on a roll. Other than that one loss to Detroit, they've been cruising through the schedule. And the Lions obviously are just mowing over everyone. So who you got in this one?
I mean, I'm judging this game purely for the fact that they're playing at home. I'm picking the Lions. Yeah, they're injured. Now, I don't expect them to dominate as they have been dominating a couple of teams a couple of weeks ago. You can see how they're slowing down slowly. The injuries are mounting up. It's sticking tall. They're slowing down. I think they're still going to struggle with the Packers, but I don't see them losing this game. I think the Lions are going to take this win.
I'm very intrigued by this with the injuries on a short week. So, like, you might have guys who are banged up that they're not getting the full recovery time throughout the week to prepare for a
Yep.
Sunday. So that could lead to even more injury issues. Even if the guys play, like you might aggravate injuries because you haven't had that full recovery time. So we'll see how that goes. I will say it's in Detroit, but I almost feel like not that Green Bay's not built to play outside. Josh Jacobs, I believe, is top three in rushing this year. I believe the top three rushers are Saquon, Derrick Henry, and
And
Josh Jacobs,
Jacobs, yeah,
who
he's
all
third.
changed teams. Nobody wants to pay running backs, and then the people that paid running backs,
Look at that. Look at
just
that.
just saying. And another team, my Vikings, Aaron Jones signed him away from the Packers. Him and Justin Jefferson going into last week, only pair of teammates with 900 yards from scrimmage. So, like, if you pay running backs, good things happen to you. These are all teams winning a lot of football games. So, but the Packers, not that they're not built to play outside, but the Lions they can just hammer you. Like, they're built to play outside. Packers, they got all the weapons on the outside. They like to air it out a little bit more. So they're kind of more of a dome team. I mean, both these teams can air it out, so it is what it is. But I'm going to pick Detroit. I'm picking Detroit.
All right.
I want to pick Green Bay. I don't know who I'm rooting for in this game because it's kind of like the optimistic Viking fan in me wants Detroit to lose because then it's in our hands. If they lose this game and we win the rest of our games, we win the division, probably get the 1 seed. In fact, I think we do. If the Eagles and Vikings both win out and Vikings win the division, I think they get the tiebreaker on strength of victory or strength of schedule. Maybe.
There's too many tiebreakers.
I did because the playoff machine is up on ESPN, which means I will sink hours of my life into that. So on one hand, I want the Packers to win, so then it's in the Vikings' hand. But then it's but then the Packers, they keep bumping up against us in that wild card race. So the pessimistic Viking fan in me is like, no, I need Green Bay to lose so we can hold on to this spot. But I think as long as you're in the 5th or 6th seed, you're not going to play the Eagles or the Lions in the first round. You get an NFC West opponent, NFC South, and Green Bay and Minnesota should be able to handle those in the playoffs. But
who I'm rooting for.
Yeah, you're rooting for Green Bay.
Yeah, even though I'm not picking them, I'm rooting for Green Bay because I want that number 1 seed extremely badly, and I'm this close. We're this close. Like you said, if the Vikings win out, the Eagles win out, tiebreakers, you guys are getting it. But either way, I just want that 1-1 seed. So I'm rooting for the Packers, even though I'm picking the Lions.
What year did they change it? Because I was very upset about adding the 7th playoff team in each conference because the 16-game schedule, 6 playoff teams, it was perfect. And that's what I grew up watching. But it the math was perfect and it bugged me. But I think the one benefit to it is I kind of like that only one team gets the bye because it really it makes getting that top seed
it's more competitive.
Priority. Yeah. But I don't know. I can't pick against Detroit until they give me more solid they're banged up, they're injured, but they're still beating teams. They're not blowing them out, but they're beating teams.
It's gonna be interesting, and this might be the tell game where we actually see there's the kink in the armor. There it is. That's where we can go and attack and and beat the Lions. So we'll see what's happening there tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football, where Al Michaels probably went to the Amazon studios and said, "Hey, I need some good football games. Please do not do this to me anymore."
He was threatening to self-immolate outside the studios, and they said, "All right, we'll give you a Packers-Lions game." But I had one more point on this. I guess Detroit. What was their last 2 games? They played the Bears last week and the Colts the week before. Those aren't real tests. They got the Packers this week. They got Buffalo next week. So now this is we're gonna find out a lot. About Detroit with these.
I need to stop you right from it. You said the Bears were not a threat, but they won by 3 points. Come on.
Well, the Bears, they're a threat to make it a game, but they just invent new ways to lose every week. So they're not a real threat.
They did dominate the Colts, but it was only 24-6. They were not scoring 50 points on the Colts.
It's only 24-6. That's how good the Lions have been. They only won 24-6. What a terrible effort. But yeah, I'm going to pick Detroit. It's a 3-point spread over under 51.5. That's interesting. I'm probably going to take the over and put that in the teaser, to be honest, this week, which I hit the teaser this past weekend. Thanks to my Broncos. Let's ride. You got to love it.
I got to say this before we continue. This will be the first week where I'm keeping track of your picks so we can actually compare who did better with the picks. So
we don't need to compare last week. Just ignore whatever.
Why not? I wonder why not. What's my record? What was my record? 14-0, baby. 14-0. Thanksgiving was a great week.
16-0, right? Because I'm every team plays on Thanksgiving weekend. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
right. Hold on. Let me count this up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You are absolutely correct, sir.
Listen, and before we move on, while we're on the subject, I got fucking jobbed, man. All my the Jags almost won. The Bears almost pulled it off. Who else was there? Who else did I pick? I don't
The
even
pick,
remember who else I
the
almost picked.
Cardinals. I mean, wasn't the Cardinals? No. Who
No,
beat
I
who the
I, I don't
Seahawks
pick.
with?
Oh, the Jets. I don't know if you watched any of that game. The Jets, like I oh my god, just a comically colossal meltdown. The Seahawks were going for it on fourth down in their own territory with 10 minutes left in the game. They went for like 3 fourth downs or 4 fourth downs in the fourth quarter. Every single time the Jets had a penalty. Automatic first down. I swear to you, dude. It like they gave that game away. If the Vikings didn't win, if the Vikings didn't beat the Cardinals, I cannot stress how pissed off I was going to be. But thank God the teaser hit, so that's what matters. I made some money. These
All right.
picks, they ain't making me any money, not yet, but the ones that matter in my betting account.
Just listen to me, and you might be making some money.
Yeah, I mean,
This is not betting advice, though.
if you threw $5 on a 16-way parlay last week, you would have made a lot of money. Lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why, because I don't want to bet because I'm a coward. But whatever.
Well, it's tough to go undefeated. Like you could even say, like if you bet $5 on all your picks every week and you hit one, like you're gonna make a bunch of money even if you lose every other week. But like you might go years without getting a perfect week. So it's just been one of those seasons, man.
Any given Sunday.
Or Thursday, or Monday night, or Wednesday on Christmas. And I'm
Yeah.
sure they're going to find a way to do a Tuesday game here pretty soon. I'm going to move along. This is next in my list because they're my favorited team on the ESPN app, and we're going to stick in the NFC North. 6-6 Atlanta Falcons on a 3-game skid, coming off a couple disastrous games. Kirk Cousins, 4 interceptions, I believe 2 pick sixes, headed back to Minnesota, back to US Bank Stadium to take on a team that knows him better than anybody. The 10-2. Let me say it again. 10-2. My Minnesota Vikings. Who you got? Falcons, Vikings in Minnesota.
Listen, the Falcons should be 5-7 because we all know they're only one drop pass from being that record. All right.
If
But
Saquon didn't drop that
I
pass, he might
digress.
not be going off right now. That like
That's
changed
true.
something in his mind. He was like,
That's true.
"Fuck this! I'm gonna
That's
just
true.
dominate the league."
I digress. But the Falcons are in like they're crashing down. They are not looking good. They started off well. They started off playing really good football, even though Kirk Cousins was not looking, at his strongest since the injury. But yeah, I have no faith in the Falcons. I am picking the Vikings. I gotta stick with a strong team here. The Vikings, they have been struggling too these past couple of weeks, but they're at home. It's their turf. It's the Falcons. They know Cousins. I have all the faith in the world in that defense to defeat the Falcons.
As is customary, I will not pick this game, but the Vikings are not struggling. And I'm going to go on a rant here. I teed this up earlier. Listen, everyone wants to talk about. There's all this chatter. All the national media muppets, they love flapping their gums, and pessimistic Vikings fans traumatized from decades of bullshit. It's a 2022 redux. It's the 2022 Vikings all over again. The Ed Donatel defense was dog shit. Their defense in 2022 was the second worst defense in the league. They made some clutch plays. In key situations, and you got to give them that. But the defense sucked. It absolutely sucked. This defense, one of the best units in the league. It's a different situation, different scenario, different team, different players. Kevin O'Connell's not in his first season as a coach anymore. And you got to look, and I saw this stat today. 79% of NFL games this season have been decided by 8 points or less. We cannot pick and choose and decide, the Vikings are winning by 1 score, and so they're in trouble. But the Chiefs are winning by 1 score, and they're still one of the best teams in the league because they got Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to
That's
hear it.
false, but okay.
The Vikings are not in trouble. They are not struggling. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying it's not possible that Sam Darnold turns back into a pumpkin. It's unlikely because Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer. But the Minnesota Vikings this is not the 2022 Vikings. I don't know what the DVOA is. I don't know what the EPA is. I don't know what any of that shit is. But I guarantee you it's better than 2022. And they have not been struggling. The Cardinals defense is a damn good defense. People don't know about him, but they need to know about him. The Cardinals defense, not fucking around. It's Budda Baker and a bunch of guys you never heard of, and they are playing their ass off. Kyler Murray is unsackable. He hasn't been sacked in like over a month and a half, something like that, until Jonathan Grenard, last drive of the game, swipes the ball out of his hand. But even then, they didn't bring him down. He just batted the ball out of his hand, and the Cardinals recovered, but technically counts as a sack. But Kirk Cousins has been playing terrible. And we just watched Jerry Jeudy have like the greatest revenge game of all time on Monday Night Football. I don't know how much of that game you watched.
None of it.
I had it on the side while I was watching wrestling, and the greatest women's world champion of all time, Liv Morgan, was handling her business. But not to be confused with the Hurt Business, now Hurt Syndicate, that it exists in a company that we will not talk about. But Jerry Jeudy is, I believe, top 4 in the league in receiving yards right now. Monster revenge game. Can Kirk Cousins capture that magic, bounce back after a few really bad games? Because you got to look at it. The Vikings know Kirk. Kevin O'Connell knows Kirk. Brian Flores was on the same team with him last year, coaching the defense. He knows Kirk. But on the flip side, Kirk knows what Brian Flores likes to do. So will they cancel each other out? Does one outweigh the other? I don't know. The Vikings, and I say this every week, the Vikings should win this game. They're a better team. They're at home. The Falcons cannot generate a pass rush. I believe going into last week, they only had 10 sacks on the season. And then guess what? They got 5 sacks last week against the Chargers. 5 sacks. How am I trying to phrase this? 50% increase in sacks in one game. So maybe that'll turn some things around for them. I don't know. But they can't generate a pass rush. Kirk, he's not comfortable throwing off the back foot on the Achilles. It's all arm. He doesn't have the zip on the ball. There was that like 10-yard out route through the pick six on. And Kirk was at his best under Kevin O'Connell. Why? Because Kevin O'Connell, he whispers in his ear, and they talked about quieting his mind and going to the team sports psychologist, quieting his mind, because he's someone that's just like the gears are always rolling in his head. Does he have that in Atlanta? I don't know. I don't know if he does. So he might be in his head going back to Minnesota. You know, how are the fans going to receive me? Like, you know, seeing the guys, like there could be some nerves there. I don't know. Kirk, when he's on, fantastic quarterback, but is he going to be on? I don't know. For the Falcons to win, they need to generate a pass rush, and they need Kirk to be 2022 Kirk and not Kirk last week throwing 4 interceptions. Vikings should win this game and get to 11-2.
Speaking of quarterbacks, quarterback whisperers, are you excited to see Daniel Jones in that purple and gold?
Love it. I absolutely love it. And it's all because of Kevin O'Connell. If we didn't have KOC, I would be laughing like everybody else is. But they laughed when we signed Sam Darnold. I scratched my head. I said, Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold playing at a Pro Bowl level, baby. Sam Darnold is the 3rd quarterback in Vikings history, in the history of the franchise, to have 100 passer rating or higher in 10 or more games in a single season. The other one's Brett Favre and Dante Culpepper. And both of those seasons, the Vikings went to the championship game. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And Daniel Jones, he's going to re-sign next year. He's going to be the backup behind J.J. McCarthy, and he's going to go somewhere else the year after that, and we're going to get a nice 3rd-round comp pick. And he's never going to play because J.J. is going to start all 17 games plus 4 playoff games, and they're going to win the Super Bowl.
I can't wait to see Daniel Jones playing and just balling out and just that way we can both make fun of Co and the Giants together.
Yeah. I mean, he had his one shining moment in Minnesota, so we'll see.
That was next.
Moving right along, speaking of Co's Giants, the 2-10 New York Football Giants of New Jersey playing host to the 4-8 Saints, and I have your stat of the week from Adam. The Saints are the only team in the league to never trail in any of their wins. So if they don't trail, they win the game. If they do trail, they're going to lose. Who you got?
That's one of those stupid stats that I pay no attention to. You know how I am. The only stats that matters are the wins and losses. I don't give
It
a shit
doesn't
about
mean
who
anything. It's
trails
just
and that.
it's interesting. It's an interesting sort
It's
of
a fun
anomaly.
fact. It's a fun fact. A fun
Yeah.
fact. It's a
Yeah.
fun fact. But yeah, I'm picking the Giants for the first time this season.
Wow.
I don't think. Listen, they got a new coach. I mean, sorry, not the coach. I'm sorry, I'm confusing teams. They just got rid of Daniel Jones. They're trying to tank the season probably, but I just know they're gonna screw that up and they're gonna win this game. That's all. That's all I'm saying. The Saints, they're trying to get. They have the new coach. They're trying to get things going. I think it's too late for that. We'll see what happens, but I don't think they're gonna win. I think the Giants are gonna screw themselves out of a better draft pick by winning this game.
I was getting prepared to lambaste you for this horrible pick, and then you said they're gonna screw it up, and it's like that's my type of logic. Logic that's not rooted in any sort of logic other than football logic or football illogic. But I'm gonna take the Saints here. I feel Alvin Kamara had a great game last week. Alvin Kamara remains quietly a very good running back.
He
And
did
I
a
don't
good
know, the
job. He did a
Giants are
good job
just
last week.
they're dead, man. They're dead. There's no life. There's no
They
fight in the
they
Giants.
just lost Dexter Lawrence.
I
Sexy
know,
Dexy, man. Sexy
dude.
Dexy's out.
I came on this show. He led the league in sacks with 9 sacks. I came on and said Dexter Lawrence is the best player in football right now. He promptly has not gotten another sack since then, and now is out. So
You jinxed it, man. You jinxed it.
I know. I'm sorry, but he did get a Campbell's Chunky Soup commercial, so you're welcome.
Well, he's getting that money then. Grab that bag.
My royalty check better be in the mail, but yeah, I'm on the Saints. I don't
Fair.
like either one of these teams. I don't want to pick either one of these teams.
This is a
But
game I'm not going to be watching, but I will be paying close attention to on my phone as I see and look at the scores.
I will say that New Orleans is favored by 4.5. That feels a bit wide to me. I think a field goal game could make sense. It's either the Saints are going to beat them by multiple scores or it's going to be a field goal game.
Bet the under, people. Not baiting advice, but bet the under.
What is the under? The under is 40.5. Maybe. I don't know. The Saints, they either score 50 points or they score 10 points. You never know. If they win, they're going to score 45. If they lose, they're going to score 8.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game at all.
I wonder what the weather forecast is in Jersey. I don't know. I was talking to my parents earlier. I should have asked them. Moving right along, because we don't need to waste any more time on that game. 3-9 Cleveland Browns coming off a tough loss on Monday night. Jameis Winston the ultimate Jameis Winston game. 497 yards passing. What do you do? Was it 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 pick sixes, and a partridge in a pear tree? Only Jameis.
Insane. And he lost the game.
Yeah. But the 3-9 Browns headed to Pittsburgh to take on the 9-3 Steelers, looking for revenge after their unexpected loss in the Snow Globe game a couple weeks ago in Cleveland. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, who you got?
Mike Tomlin is going to come into this game prepared to stump the living daylights out of the Cleveland Browns at home in that stadium with the terrible towels rolling in the air. Mike Tomlin is going to make sure that team is ready to go, and they're going to squash the Browns. I'm picking the Steelers.
Steelers. Easy. Shouts out Mike T. Shouts out the fact that this man is physically incapable of winning less than 9 games in the season. I love cashing a futures bet on December 1st. Feels real good. Mike T, he's going to get it up to 10 wins. They're going to be 10-3. They're going to continue to cruise. They're going to get some revenge. And it is worth noting that I have not watched it yet, but I have seen clips that the in-season Hard Knocks is the entire division of the AFC North. And here's the
That's
second
correct.
week in a row where we have a divisional matchup. So you get to see kind of two teams prepping for each other, and the way they cut it together is it's fantastic.
Oh, I saw that
But
clip of Tomlin hyping up. What's his name? Against the Bengals. Fuck, I forgot his name. He was hyping up like he was just saying like, I know you can do it. I know you can. You better be on Zeus's ass. You better be on that ass. And then he gets a fucking fumble, and then they scoop a pick, and they go for the touchdown. So that's Tomlin for you. Tomlin is such a good coach. He's my favorite coach outside of my own coach. Outside Nick Sirianni, who I had my doubts at the start of the season. I'm not going to deny that. I'm going to be honest, but I love the way Mike Tomlin works, and I'm just all the way behind the Steelers this season when it comes to that conference.
love Mike T. I've historically been a Steelers hater, and this is like the first year, and I've also historically been a Russ hater. And for whatever reason, this is the first year where I kind of like the Steelers. I'm kind of vibing with what they're doing. I like it. I like seeing Russ bounce back after just being a laughing stock for 2 years, taking it on the shins. And I mean, Coach T, he got hired from the Vikings staff where he came in 1 year defensive coordinator and best run defense in the league, set us up for the next like 3-4 years after that. But Steelers, they ain't losing to the Browns twice in one season. It's just not going to happen.
Listen, this is a fun fact. I'm the new football fan. This is new for me. I've only been a fan for a couple of years. 2013, to be exact, was the first time I started to actually follow a team, which was the Philadelphia Eagles. But before that year, before 2013, I knew about Mike Tomlin. I knew about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he has been a constant. Mike Tomlin, for me, has been a constant in the NFL. And as a fan of the NFL, the football, the game of football, not just the Philadelphia Eagles, I am a fan of his. I'm a fan of the way he works. So I much respect to Mike Tomlin.
Love Mike T. All right, next up, we got a rematch of the 2002 Super Bowl. I don't remember which number Super Bowl it was, but the 2-10 Oakland Raiders of Las Vegas headed to Tampa Bay to take on the 6-6 my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Baker Mayfield and Bucky Irving, baby. You know where I'm going on this one. Who do you got?
I got the Bath Cells of Florida. Buccaneers all day, man.
Got to.
Buccaneers. The Raiders were frisky because they had a new coach. They had some new culture, but it just all went downhill. It just imploded immediately, and it hasn't been pretty at all. I mean, Minshew is out. They lost Devante Adams, the Jets, who hasn't been doing anything in the Jets, by the way. Crosby is the only guy on defense that's actually, making plays. It's just not a good team right now. They are not in a good vibe. They're not in a good place. You just saw what happened last week against the Chiefs. It was just a clusterfuck of an ending. I don't have any faith in the Raiders anymore. Not at this point in the season. I'm definitely picking the Buccaneers, even though it hurts me because I still am feeling the hurting from those two past losses to the Buccaneers back earlier this season and in the playoffs last season. But yeah, the Buccaneers are going to win this game easily.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Mike Evans looks like he's fully back to form. Baker continuing to bake at a high level. Bucky Irving and Rachaad White both went off last week. Now, I will say, while you were talking, I was looking up where the Raiders rank from a rushing standpoint, just because I always want an excuse to talk about Bucky Irving. Raiders, yards-wise, 10th ranked rushing defense. Yards per carry-wise, 11th ranked. They've given up 11 touchdowns on the ground. So fairly solid run defense, but they ain't stopping Bucky Irving because Bucky Irving can do it on the ground. He can do it through the air. Baker Mayfield's going to be slinging it all over the place. Bucks, I've been saying it for weeks, are going to finish 10-7, and they're going to win the South, and they ain't losing to the Raiders.
Free Crosby. Free Crosby. Let that man cook in a good team. Let him go.
Sad state of affairs.
Nowhere near the NFC, please.
All right, next up, your 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles playing host to one of the friskier teams in the league now. I don't know if anyone saw this coming at the start of the season. The 3-9 Carolina Panthers. They had the 2-game win streak. They've lost 2 in a row, but close. Went to overtime against the Bucs last week. Kind of fucked it up in overtime. It is what it is. You're still trying to figure out how to win games. Almost beat the Chiefs the week before. Panthers looking solid, but the Eagles, if depending on how the Lions with all these injuries, Eagles might move into that top spot. They might move into that best team balling category. So it's gonna be tough for the Panthers. But if the Eagles cannot look past the Panthers, Eagles. I know who you're gonna pick, but who are you gonna pick?
I mean, obviously, you know who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick my Eagles, but hear me out. Panthers are trying to play spoiler in the past couple of weeks, and they're doing good. It looks like they finally found themselves, and I'm happy for them and their fans, not their owner. Fuck him. But
Yeah, he's
you know,
gone.
I'm happy for the actual players, the team. I'm happy for the fan base to actually enjoy seeing their team play anymore. I mean, yeah, they still lost the last couple of games, but like you said, close games. They're not just getting destroyed and beat. That's the Jaguars' job right now. I'm picking the Eagles. I'm not. I'm always nervous. I don't care which team it is. Last year we played the Cardinals. The Cardinals were shitty last season. They still beat us at the end of the season. I'm never gonna be out. I'm never gonna say this is gonna be a piece of cake game. But with that said, the Philadelphia Eagles are on a roll. That train is rolling through, and everybody's jumping in. All the media, the sports media, is just jumping into the hype train, just trying to get back. Oh, is the Eagles the best team in the NFL? Are the Eagles the best team ever? Are they going to be better than the Lions? Are the Lions going to lose? Listen, I don't care about all the hype. The Eagles are playing tremendously since the bye week. Our defense has been beautiful. All right? The offense is making it work. Jalen Hurts hasn't turned the ball over. Saquon is running through people. AJ Brown is getting routes. He's not scoring as many touchdowns as before, as last season, but he's running and he's making the plays when it's necessary. He's getting those first downs. Goddard is healthy and doing good. We wish Smitty was healthy too. Hopefully he plays this weekend. It seems like that might be the case so far. Just keep an eye out for that. He's still under concussion protocol. Actually, not the hamstring. Sorry, he's in the hamstring injury. Slade is the one in the
that can
concussion
linger.
protocol. Yeah. So we'll see what happens this weekend. I have no reason to doubt the Eagles this weekend. But at the same time, watch out for the Panthers. They're trying to play spoiler.
You said the Carolina Panthers trying to play spoiler. The Carolina Panthers have gone from a joke to jokes about if this was the Premier League, they'd be getting relegated. Just an absolute moribund franchise, clown owner, Bruce Young, shouts out Adam. Can't get it done. He's a bust. They got no talent on the roster. They're trading all the receivers away. They got absolutely nothing going for him. He got benched for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton goes down. Bryce Young comes back in. And then all of a sudden, here come the Panthers. They get a win. Then they go overseas. They go to Germany. They get another win. That was Germany, right? Yeah. Then they come back. They almost beat the Chiefs. Then they almost upset divisional rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers, trying to screw up their bid to claw back into relevancy and take the division. And then this week, the Carolina Panthers are going to go into Philadelphia, into Lincoln Financial Field, surrounded by the most obnoxious fans in all of professional sports on planet Earth, the moon, and possibly every other planet in the entire known galaxy and universe. And the Panthers are going to lose this game. But they're going to cover the spread. The spread is 13 points. I think the Panthers got what it takes. The Eagles, every few weeks they blow a team out. I don't think they're going to blow a team out this week. We know about the Eagles' problem scoring points in the first quarter. They're the lowest scoring team in the first quarter. I think the Panthers, they've been coming out.
I'm sorry. I still have a theory that they're doing that shit on purpose, but whatever.
They're definitely not doing that shit on purpose. And the Panthers, they've been trying to come out with some electricity from the get go. I'm I'm kind of confident that they're going to cover that 13-point spread, but I will say this: the Panthers will spoil someone by the end of the year. Their last 3 games they host the Cardinals, and then they're at Tampa Bay and they're at Atlanta. Those are 3 games with 3 teams that are scrapping and clawing.
It's
Where
gonna be Tampa Bay.
you're probably not going to. Come on,
It's
not my
gonna be
boy
Tampa
Baker.
Bay. It's gotta be Tampa. Who has the most to lose? It's Tampa Bay. It's gotta be
Tampa Bay and the Falcons have an equal amount to lose because the Cardinals, Bucks, and Falcons.
The
They're
Falcons
probably
are gonna be losing more games before that
maybe,
game, all right?
maybe, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with the Falcons. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. But the fact of the matter is, one of those 3 games, the Panthers are going to win, and it's going to cost the team that they beat. That if they had won that game, they would make the playoffs. I am leaning toward the Falcons, but it could be any of those 3 teams. But the Panthers will play spoiler to at least one team by the end of the season, and they do play the Cowboys. And the Cowboys all of a sudden are nah, you know what? We're not going to go there. I can't do it. Can't do it. But the Cowboys do have a better record than the Cincinnati Bengals, and we'll get to that later. But everyone's favorite Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, why are the Bengals so bad? Let me stop. Panthers cover the spread, lose to the Eagles, and the Eagles keep on rolling.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
All right, next up, 2 teams that are – if they were flying, they crashed and burned a very long time ago. The 2-10 Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence probably out, and he should be out for the season. There's no reason to bring him back. Just don't even fucking think about it.
He's expected to miss the rest of the season.
At the 3-9, unfortunately, at one time was my Tennessee Titans. Who you got here?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the booty ball where both teams are complete ass. But I'm going with Will Levis. I'm picking the Titans because they actually have a quarterback, and they just, I don't think what's his name? That's the backup for Lawrence. He did not play well for the Jaguars when Lawrence was up. What?
McCorkle.
That's his name?
Yeah, Mac Jones. McCorkle.
Mac Jones did not play well for the Jaguars when Lawrence went out early in the season. He's not going to do well this time around. I think Will Levis is going to do some of that Titan magic that he does, and he's just going to be weird and meme-worthy and win the game. I'm picking the Titans.
I'm with you. Will Levis last week, not as efficient as he has been in recent memory, but he's been taking care of the football a lot better since he came back from the injury. He did have the 1 interception against the Vikings. 1 interception? I can't remember, but it was like late in the game. He's trying to make something happen down double digits, trying to air it out deep. It wasn't like a bad throw or anything like that. He's been taking care of the football. The Jags have some pieces on defense. They got a couple pieces on offense, but they're just Doug Peterson is cooked. I never thought Doug Peterson was a good coach. They got lucky in 2017. They got lucky. That was our Super Bowl, and they stole it from us. But the Titans, they're going to get it done, and there's still a chance. I can still salvage 1 Titans futures bet. If they win a few games here at the end, Titans, I need you, baby. You're still my Titans. Just give me 3 more wins, 4 more wins. Win out.
You know what's the saddest thing? You know what's the saddest thing about the Jaguars? They lost the game. The
Jaguars.
No, that they owned by Tony Khan and his father. But anyways, they lost that Texans game by 3 points. It wasn't like they were blown out by the Texans. That whole thing with Trevor Lawrence was just an unfortunate thing. What's his name? Al-Shahir. I forget how to pronounce his last name. He's suspended, but it was Opel or something like that. I'm not really sure what's going on there. It's an unfortunate thing. So I wish Trevor Lawrence a speedy recovery. Take your time. Don't rush it. The season is over anyways, man. You're already eliminated from the playoffs. Just get healthy and think about next year, right? And Yeah, let's see. The week before, who did they face? Were they on bye? Oh, they were on bye. So yeah, it's a very disappointing thing because it looked like last week they were gonna, get something done, but unfortunately, that happened.
The Jaguars stink, the Titans stink, and also the 3-9 New York Football Jets of New Jersey stink, and they're headed to South Beach to Miami to take on the 5-7 Miami Dolphins, coming off a very predictable loss to the Green Bay Packers in the cold on Thanksgiving night. Jets Dolphins, who you got?
Listen, it's Miami. It's South Florida. It's a 1 o'clock game. That sun, that humidity is going to take over that stadium. It's going to take over that sideline of the Jets where they're sitting there just taking in all that sun in the middle of November. It doesn't get that cold in Florida during the day, especially not at 1 o'clock. I'm picking the Dolphins because that's where they have the advantage. The Jets are a mess, and the heat's going to be unbearable for them.
I don't know what the fuck the Jets did last week. I cannot tell you how pissed off I was watching it. They were up 21-7. I was like, here we go, baby. We're cruising. We're cruising. I had money on the Jets because I got good odds, and they just went in the tank. And listen, people think Aaron Rodgers is washed. Aaron Rodgers is not washed. He's not the same physical specimen he used to be. He needs to learn from this that he can't do all the crazy roll out and throw off his back foot because he doesn't. His arm strength just not quite as good. His ability to run not quite as good. He's
He
going to
doesn't have the
learn.
weapons either.
He's got Devontae Adams. He's got Garrett Wilson. He's got Breece Hall, Braylon Allen. What are you talking about? They got weapons out the ass. They got no offensive line. That's the problem, and he can't scramble like he used to. But Aaron Rodgers still has 20 years of knowledge that next year coming back or going to another team, if I was him, I'd get the fuck out of there because the Jets is the Jets is the Jets, and the Jets will always be the Jets. But if he adjusts his playing style to you, like Tom Brady in his last year or two, or Peyton Manning in his last year, but they understood they're physically not the same guy, but they have 20 years of knowledge. If they adjust the way they play the game, they can still be effective enough. So I don't think he's washed, but they ain't beating the Dolphins. It ain't gonna happen. And you know how I feel about these Dolphins. But the Dolphins are front runners. They play a bad team at home. They're going to win the game. They're going to win 34-17 or some shit like that. And guess what? They're still not going to make the playoffs because the Dolphins, they ain't it.
You
Mike
hear that, Adam?
McDaniel, he ain't it.
You hear that, Adam? You hear that?
What did Adam say about the Dolphins?
Didn't he say they were going to be making the playoffs?
He said he said they were going to claw when they were 2-6. He said they're going to rip off a bunch of wins and they might get that last playoff spot. But the problem was he was sleeping on Offensive Rookie of the Year, Bo Nix, and my Denver Broncos. Let's ride. Broncos keep rolling, baby.
Tyreek Hill just needs to get arrested or pull over and just, that's the key to victory for Miami, apparently. So he hasn't done shit in any of the other games since.
They'll win the game. The Dolphins, they beat bad teams and they lose to good teams because they're soft. They didn't used to be soft. When Brian Flores was their head coach, they were not soft. But, he said mean things to me. He's a horrible man. He's a bad man. Cry about it. Literally cry about it, Tua. Do better. You can't beat good teams. You can't beat teams with a winning record. You're not going to have a winning record this year, and you're not going to make the playoffs. But you are going to beat the Jets this weekend. So
people like to call Nick Sirianni a clown because he has an attitude that he's loud and obnoxious like all the Eagles fans are, including myself. But let's face it, Mike McDaniels, is that his last name, McDaniels?
McDaniel.
He is a bigger clown. Literally. Red nose and all. Every time I see him on a cold game, he's rules a red-nosed reindeer over here.
They ain't built for it.
He's not. And he's a clown.
Actually, can I take back what I said? The Dolphins actually might finish with a winning record because other than the Texans next week, they got the Niners at home in Miami, and the Niners are fucking dead. Cleveland and the Jets. So they might win 4 of these last 5 and get to 9-8, but they ain't making the playoffs because
Are they playing Cleveland at home or are they playing Cleveland?
Cleveland, that's a good point. December 29th, and guess what? It's a night game. It's a night game. Now that might get flexed. Probably should get flexed. It better get flexed. Yeah, what? Hold on a second. All right, whoever's in charge of this Sunday Night Football, December 29th, as much as I want to see the Dolphins lose that game, get that shit out of prime time today. Cannot let it happen. Don't want to see it.
NBC's not going to let that happen.
Oh, no. This ain't Prime Video, dog. All right, next up, a very intriguing matchup. Could be a must-watch game for all you 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever the fuck o'clock fans, depending on what time zone you're in. But this 7-5 Seattle Seahawks at the 6-6 Arizona Cardinals feels like they just played a couple weeks ago because they did. Seahawks Cardinals, huge divisional implications here. These are probably the two. These look like the two best teams in the division, playing probably the most consistently. Seahawks getting hot again. Cardinals, tough loss to the Vikings, but they've been pretty damn good before the last couple weeks. Seahawks, Cardinals, battle of the birds, but like the lesser birds. Not the last week's battle of the birds, but like shitty birds.
The mid-bird bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, even with that said, I'm kidding, but not really.
The mid-bird bowl. Love it.
This is the game of the afternoon for me because it's a playoff implication game. It's a divisional game. These two teams are fighting it out for the first position in the NFC West. They're going to give it all into that field. So that's the game to watch, in my opinion. Not the rest of the other two games, this game, because they are going to do whatever it takes for them to win because they know that whoever comes out, the winner of this game, more than likely, is going to be the one to win that division. So I'm really, really curious to see this game. This might be the game I'll be watching that afternoon instead of the other two. I'm picking the Seahawks for the second week in a row. They did not fuck me over last week. I'm thinking they're going to do the same this week.
Arizona Cardinals. That's all I needed to hear. You're picking the Seahawks. I'm picking the Cardinals, baby. That's all I needed to hear. The Cardinals defense. Listen, you watch Seattle and it's you see them play. It's like, how is this team 7-5? There's nothing sexy about them, but it's like it's a bumbling unsexy. It's not like the Broncos unsexy, where the Broncos are just a nice workman-like team. They go to work. It's nothing hot, nothing sexy about it, but they get it done. They're solid all around. The Seahawks, Geno's throwing picks in the red zone. They're fumbling balls. They need all these penalties from the fucking New York Jets to pull out wins on the East Coast. You're picking Seattle. There's no way you're picking Seattle 2 weeks in a row and they're going to win both games. Arizona Cardinals, led by the defense, the unsackable Kyler Murray. Marvin Harrison Jr. going to have a monster game. Trey McBride is finally going to get in the end zone, and the Arizona Cardinals are going to even the division up at the top at 7-6. And if you're right and the Vikings win, and if the Cardinals beat the Seahawks, and then depending on what happens in the next game on the list, Vikings could clinch a playoff spot. Cardinals over the Seahawks. Book it, right, baby.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to trust the Seahawks not to fuck me over twice in a row, even though they did that constantly the other couple of weeks before last week.
I just don't think Seattle's going to hold them to 6 points again. Because on the flip side, Arizona held Seattle to 16 points. You hold a team to 16 points, that's a very winnable game. Kyler Murray ain't going to be held down that bad again. He's going to be out there scooting around. It's going to be fantastic.
He's literally a little bird running around that field. Like
terrible spread on this game. Cardinals 2.5-point favorites. I might take the Cardinals to cover that spread.
I will bet the under in this game too.
44.5.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'll bet the under.
I'm going to take the over, but I'm going to put it in the teaser where I'm going to get 6 more points. So,
all right.
Next up, we're staying in the NFC West. The 6-6 Los Angeles Rams. I forgot where they played for a second, even though I live in the city where they played and literally went to one of their games earlier in the season. 6-6 Rams hosting the 10-2 Buffalo Bills, who have not lost a game since Stephon Diggs side-eyed Josh Allen in the postgame. Josh Allen, the MVP, king of his city, engaged to Haley Steinfeld, first quarterback in the history of the league to throw a touchdown, catch a touchdown, rush for a touchdown in the same game, but shouts out LaDainian Tomlinson as a running back who did it first.
In the snow.
In the snow. Even more impressive. Bills-Rams in Los Angeles, which basically means in a sunny version of Buffalo in this particular case. Bills-Rams, who you got?
I got the Bills, man. No question about it. The Rams are not a bad team, whatsoever. They're not bad, but they're not great. The Buffalo Bills are a great team. They are balling this season. They are dominating this season. Josh Allen, like you said, he's the clear favorite for MVP right now. Saquon Barkley, I know you're right there behind him, but when it comes to the way this team is playing, I have all the faith in the Bills that they're going to win this game easily. And it's going to be a home game because we all know that LA doesn't have real fans. So, Buffalo Bills all the way.
You make a compelling point. I'm very conflicted on this game, not because I think the Rams are going to win, but because the Rams winning is bad for the Vikings. And so I'm tempted to pick the Rams.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, this is how it goes. This is how my brain works. I can't explain it, but one key to watch here, both of these teams not very good against the run. Now, the Bills did get Matt Milano back. Probably going to take him a couple weeks to get back into form. Kyron Williams had a nice game last week. James Cook had a nice game last week.
I believe
Ray
the Bills
Davis
just
had a
signed
nice
someone.
game last week.
I believe I forgot to share it with you, but I think they signed someone. Check that out. I think they signed someone on the defensive side of the ball.
If they're signing someone this late in the season, I doubt it's a Pro Bowler. Oh, they're bringing back Micah Hyde.
See?
Okay,
I told you.
okay.
I told you.
Okay. Old man, but familiar.
Veteran.
Solid veteran presence. But the Rams are giving up 4.6 yards a carry. The Bills are giving up 4.9. The Rams have given up 1,730 yards on the ground. Bills 1,463, which part of that, too, is like putting up a lot of points. Teams stop running the ball because everyone in this league fucking stops running the ball. But you're trailing and you're passing to try and get back in the game.
Except
I think
the
we can
Eagles.
see yeah. Well, because they know where the fucking bread's buttered. You got Saquon Barkley, you're running the goddamn ball. But I think we can see a lot of running in this game. I think that could be the key to victory here. I'm gonna pick the Rams. Not because I think they're gonna win, not because I want them to win. I hope I'm wrong. But if the Rams win this fucking game, at the very least, I want to pick up a game on you, and I might put a little scratch on the Rams just in case. Nothing like the old emotional hedge bet, which, speaking of, I am now, I believe, 3 weeks in a row that the Vikings won, and I bet the spread, the other team to cover the spread, and they covered the spread. So I made money, and the Vikings won. Nothing like it. Best feeling in the world. Your team wins, and you win some money. Love it. Fantastic.
I wouldn't know.
Bills are favored by 4. The over-under is 49.5.
Bet the over.
You think?
I think the Bills are going to ball out.
I hope so. I hope the Bills win the rest of their games because that means they beat the Rams, help us secure a playoff spot. It means they beat the Lions, put us back in control of our own destiny. So we'll see. But I like the Bills here, but I'm picking the Rams purely for juju purposes. I am fully willing to lose this game in exchange for a Bills win over the Rams.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Don't worry. What's next?
A game that 4-8 Bears, 5-7 49ers.
I can sense the excitement. You're totally excited for this game.
Well, here's the thing with the Bears. They did the same dumb fuck shit that the Jets did. Now, granted, he gets a little bit of head start, but Thomas Moore, right? Thomas Moore. They fire Shane Waldron a few weeks ago, offensive coordinator, and they promote Thomas Moore to the OC, calling plays for the first time in his career. And then not 3 weeks later, do they fire the head coach and say, well, you're also going to be the head coach now? How has that worked for the Jets with Coach Brick? It hasn't. All of a sudden, you go from being a guy who's not calling plays to calling plays and being the head coach of the team. Bad move from the Bears if they want any wins here at the end of the season. And the 49ers, put it on a T-shirt, riddled with injuries. Go. You could pick it. I don't even
I
know who I want to
I
pick.
I
I don't
told
care.
you I told you a couple of weeks ago. Stick a forward in the 49ers. They are done for the season. The Madden curse is real. McCaffrey's out again. Bosa's still out. I think Purdy is out. I'm not sure if he's back. They're gonna be playing. I don't know what's going on. It's a mess. They are a mess. I don't think the 49ers are gonna win this game. I'm going with the Bears. I think the Bears are gonna get it done. They have been having devastating loss after devastating loss for the past couple of weeks. I think this week finally the Bears are gonna have a moment where they can say, "Hey, we finally won something," even though they're just gonna beat a very injured team in the 49ers. But a win
I'm
is a
with you.
win.
Despite everything I just said, every once in a while the interim coach, you get the juice. We're just gonna go play football, have fun out there. Forget about everything. We're just the season's lost, but it doesn't mean we can't go out there and give it our best shot. I'm picking the Bears. The Niners, McCaffrey's out. Jordan Mason's out. Brandon Ayuk is out. What?
Debo,
Fucking
I think he's out too. Is he?
whether he's in or out don't make a difference because he ain't doing a goddamn thing when he's
Is
out there.
he's
Nick
ass? He's
Bosa's out.
ass.
Lenore's out. They're just everybody's out. Purdy without the weapons.
Kittle is the only one left.
And Kittle caught one pass for 7 yards. He caught the first pass of the game for 7 yards promptly, did not catch another pass the entire game. And the Bears, again, they're losing all these. They're 3 games in a row. You play Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit. Your 3 divisional opponents, 3 of the best teams in the league, three top 6 teams in football, and it comes down to the last possession or the last play in all those games. Like, they're in these games, they got weapons on offense. You got Keenan Allen, you got Rome Odunze, you got DJ Moore. Swift is kind of lost in the sauce. I don't know why he's not shit anymore in Chicago because their scheme for their run game is very basic and very not. It's just there's no eye candy, there's no dressing. It's just very run of the mill bullshit. So I think that's working against them. But they got studs on the defense. The Niners riddled with injuries. Chicago, it's your time. Get off the schneid. They've lost 6 in a row. They need a win. They need a win. They need a win this week. They need a win this week so they can lose next week to the Vikings.
Listen, they got a win already when they fired their head coach. Every single Chicago Bears fan was excited. I think the entire city froze over of excitement. They wanted Eberflus out since last season. They cannot. They couldn't have been happier. Now that's done. Win this game. Show that you're able to do something without him. Show that you're a good team. Show that your rookie quarterback is still good because everybody's doubting you. Everybody's doubting him. Just make sure that you do something. This is the only game you're going to have an opportunity like this where you're going to be able to beat a good team that's just injured. So just take advantage of the opportunity. That's what I think is going to be happening. And I'm picking the Bears.
Bear down. All right. Sunday night football. We got the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles at 8-4 in a divisional matchup, looking for a little bit of revenge against the 11-1 Kansas City Chiefs. Chargers Chiefs, who you got?
How long can the Chiefs keep getting away with those fucking close, lucky ass wins, man? How? How do they keep doing it? Did they make a deal with the devil? Do they pay the refs? Is the NFL protecting them? Who knows? I don't care. They're not winning this game. I'm picking the Harbaugh. Go Chargers.
Oh, I hate you so much. This is the one game I had teed up. I'm like, pick the Chiefs so I can pick the Chargers. I want to pick the Chargers so bad in this game. You know how I feel about Jim Harbaugh. He's gonna get the boys up, but here's the key. Harbaugh goes to Michigan, takes him years to finally beat Ohio State, and then he beat them so bad that they
They
don't
haven't
have
won since.
they can't beat a Michigan team in a bad year, in a down year. They can't. Number 2 ranked team in the country. Guess what? Ohio State,
Cry
about it. But I'm picking the Chiefs. Here's why. Because Justin Herbert ain't it. Justin Herbert, I saw some
Here we
motherfucker
go.
talk about how Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Not this league. I don't know what league you watching where he's a top 5 quarterback. He can't win against teams with a winning record. He has yet to win in the playoffs. I understand we're not in the playoffs, but it's a playoff atmosphere. We're in December. It's a divisional matchup. You're on the road playing against one of the best teams in the league, team tied for the best record in the league. Jim Harbaugh can only do so much. The Chargers will charger. They will lose another game, another close game, to a good team that has a better record than them because Justin Herbert has top 5 talent, but he ain't even a top 10 quarterback in the league right now, dog. And that is it. That is a scientific fact. Look at the numbers. Justin Herbert ain't getting it done. Chiefs, 12-1. Count them up.
Two things. First of all, bet the under. All right?
42.5. I don't know about that.
Yeah, bet the under. All right?
Maybe.
There's no freaking way this is going to be a high-scoring game. It's not. That Chargers defense is good. All right? It's really good. Harbaugh is doing a good job with that defense. I don't agree, nor do I disagree with your statement about Justin Herbert because I don't give a shit. But hear me out. Patrick Mahomes is going to get sacked at least twice in this game. I am predicting it. He's getting sacked in this game, and he's going to hurt him psychologically, and he's going to fizzle out at the second half, and he's going to cost him the game. I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it.
Okay.
Because every time he gets sacked, I don't know if you noticed, Mahomes is good every time he's playing and he makes the passes and he gets the penalties and he's getting cocky and shit because he's Patrick Mahomes. He has a little strut where he looks a little bit effeminate. No offense to anybody who does that, but he just has that little thing and he does the finger thing. He's getting cocky. As soon as he gets sacked, it works him psychologically. That's when he starts getting upset. That's when you see him cursing out someone or going, and he loses his cool. And that's when the Chiefs are getting in trouble. That's what's going to happen in this game.
That's when he goes Mamba mode. That's when he goes Michael Jordan mode.
No, he does not.
He doesn't? Have they won 2 Super Bowls in a row? Have they won 3 out of the last, 5? Yeah.
One of those he won because of a penalty call that was bullshit or whatever.
Guess what, Caesar? You got eyes and reading comprehension.
I'm still crying about it to this day. I'm still crying about it to this day. But it was a bullshit call and you know it. It's fine. Whatever. I'm done. But he's going to get sacked twice in this game. At least twice.
He can get sacked 15 times. They ain't going to lose this game.
They're going to lose, bro.
And he damn sure ain't going to go in the tank when he gets sacked. Oh, yeah. If this was some magic formula to beat Patrick Mahomes, you don't think they'd be blitzing the shit out of this guy all damn day?
But
all you got to do is sack him. All you got to do is get him on the ground, and he's going to go in his shell. Nah.
Trust me. It's
no
going to happen.
Shot.
It's late in the season. What happens to the Chiefs late in the season? They already clinched the playoffs.
You have this theory that is absolutely ridiculous. The Chiefs start out bad. The last 3 years, we get halfway in the season, and the question is, what's wrong with the Chiefs? The Chiefs, I mean, they're winning games, but they don't look as good as they have in past years. And then they get hot at the end of the season. They win all their playoff games, and they win the Super Bowl. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but they're going to beat the Chargers.
Whatever. I agree to disagree. In Harbaugh, I trust. Who better than us? Nobody.
That's not it, man.
I know it's not it. I'm quoting Chris Canyon.
Who better than Canyon?
Everybody.
I'll tell you who's better than Canyon. The Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, soon to be 12-1 on their way to a 3rd straight Super Bowl.
They're not going to win the Super Bowl. Chiefs. Whatever.
Kansas
They
City.
won't even pass. They're not even going to pass it. The divisional round.
Well, they're not even going to get there because they're going to lose the top spot to the Bills, and then they're going to lose to the Broncos in the first round, baby. Let's ride,
All right, all right, all right.
baby.
All right, next, Bo Nix.
Monday, December 9th, 5:15, ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Plus, the Cincinnati Bengals at a dismal, awful, just horrendous 4-8, headed to Jerry World to take on the 5-7 Dallas Cowboys. Butt of everyone's joke, but guess what? They got a better record than your favorite Cincinnati Bengals. Keep talking about them, and they're going to keep losing. Are they going to lose today? Or are they going to lose on Monday, Caesar? Are they going to lose this one?
Listen,
They're going to beat the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are finding a groove. They went out on the road. They got some wins. Good for them. I hate them. I don't give a shit about them. I don't care. I couldn't care less. They're just fighting for third place, screwing themselves out of better draft picks as well. But they're back at home. They're back in Jerry World. Dallas fans are going to be there. They're going to give them that energy. And they're going to lose to the Bengals. The Bengals are winning this game on Monday Night Football. It's going to be a garbage time in the season for the Bengals to win, but they're winning this game.
I want to read you some betting information on this game. Because let's not forget, last week, the Bengals played host to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know who was favored in that game, Caesar? The 8-3 Pittsburgh Steelers and the 4-7 Cincinnati Bengals. You know who was favored in that game?
The Bengals?
Yep.
Why?
Guess who's favored in this game? The 4-8 Bengals on the road against the 5-7, marginally better, but better, Dallas Cowboys. Who do you think's favored?
The Bengals again?
Not only are they favored, they're favored by 5 points. Cowboys are 3-1 odds to win this game.
Listen,
I am not litigating this shit anymore. Fuck the Bengals. The Bengals suck. They've been sucked. They're going to keep sucking. Zach Taylor sucks. Get him out of here. He's a bum. He's a bozo. He's a buffoon. Joe Burrow, not the MVP. If they had a good defense, still wouldn't be the MVP because he ain't elevating the team. But the Bengals probably going to beat the Cowboys. That's all I got to say about that. I'm rooting for you, Dallas. I want to pick you, but I picked them 2 weeks in a row. You got to know when to step off the ride. You got to know when to let it ride, and you got to know when to get off the ride. And I'm gonna get off the ride, and if the Cowboys prove me wrong, I'm gonna laugh about it on Monday's show, Tuesday's show, the pick show, and every show after that. Because fuck the Bengals. But I think they're probably gonna win this game.
How about them boys?
Oh, so we need to retire that meme. It's not funny. Nobody's been. It's the same shit every week. I've seen it a million times.
It's the same shit every year.
They go 12-5 and we got to post it 5 times. They could go 1-16. Oh, we got to post it 16. They could go 17-0 and lose in the playoffs. They could lose in the Super Bowl and still some motherfucker's gonna produce a "we still them boys" meme. I pray for the season that the Cowboys go 20-0 and win every game, and we don't have to see that stupid fucking meme one time.
You know who else prays for that meme to go away?
Who?
The entire Dallas Cowboys fan base, but he won't. Fuck them.
Because we got a bunch of Mickey Mouse, soft ass, can't come up with anything more creative than the same meme that they've been dragging around for, 8 years now? I'm tired of it.
Listen, there's other memes. There's a Dak Prescott dancing meme in the wedding in a very weird way.
Come up with some fun stuff. Come up with something new. That I can vibe with. That's fine.
There's the actual quote of Dak Prescott saying in the sideline, "We fucking suck now." So, he's fucked because they got that on fucking film.
I will say this. I saw this the other day and I was like, oh shit, that's true. And like I should know that, but it's never talked about because all anyone talks about, when's the last time the Cowboys went to the championship game? When's the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl? The Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl since the 90s. You know who hasn't won a Super Bowl even longer than the Cowboys?
The Niners?
Yeah. That doesn't get talked about.
is they
That
suck
never
too.
gets talked about.
They've gone to the Super Bowl. They fucking lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah. Why aren't they catching all these stray bullets? Why doesn't everyone have their guns aimed at the San Francisco 49ers? Why is
And
it always the
listen,
Cowboys?
listen.
Leave the Cowboys alone.
Listen,
They
listen.
haven't.
I'm a
I,
Eagles fan. Listen, I'm an Eagles fan.
you
So
have it. You have a reason. You have an excuse. The rest of these
obviously,
clowns,
yeah,
fuck out of here.
obviously, I hate the Cowboys because they're a divisional rival. They always play well against us. It's a divisional thing. It's fine. I just do it for the rivalry. All right. I have nothing personal against anybody unless he attacked me personally or my family. But that's a different story. That's not gonna as it has happened yet. Not now. With that said, I fucking despise the 49ers fans. I despise the Niner gang or whatever the fuck they kind of call themselves, the Niner
Bang
faithful,
bang Niner gang.
whatever the hell they call themselves. I fucking hate them.
The gang
They
bang gang.
they are just a bunch of fucking idiots. They are as loud as us. They are as obnoxious as us. And they can fucking talk so much shit. I have never seen a fan base talk so much shit. They cried for an entire season that they lost a divisional championship game without a quarterback, and that's why we won. And they beat us last season, and they still cried, and they still bitch, and they still make fun. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Go play some football. And you know what? I'm glad the Niners are losing this season. I'm glad they are fucking horrible. I'm not glad that the players are hurt because it's not their fault. But fuck the fucking fans. I don't care about the Niners. Sorry for the rant, but
This
fuck
plays
the
into my
Niners.
point, though. There's this view that Cowboys fans are this obnoxious fan base, and that, it's our year every year, and they talk all this shit. They really don't. Like
Cowboys fans
the
are just
Cowboys
sad.
fans, yeah, they know that they haven't won shit, and however, the Niners haven't won shit in even longer, and yet they're still out here talking all this shit, and nobody comes at the Niners. Nobody comes at the Niners fans except you here right now. No, we need to make this a thing. You need to pioneer this. We all need to start hating on the Niners instead of the Cowboys, unless you're in the same division, in which case it's fair game.
Like I said, it's a sunny California team that can't even play in the cold. The 49ers are the
Soft.
Miami of the NFC. All right? That's it. That's my comparison. The 49ers are the Miami of the NFC.
Put that on the ticker on fucking ESPN, man. Jesus.
Anyways,
All right, well, that's
teams on bye.
There you go.
Teams on
Take us
bye
home.
this week. We got the Ravens, the Broncos, the Texans, the Colts, the Patriots, and the Commanders. Who does it benefit? The Ravens, who just got off that really, really bad loss against the Eagles where they got knocked the fuck out, as they will say in the Friday movie. So they're going to, regroup, get your groove back, come back, try to win out the rest of the game so you can get a better position in the playoffs and try to win that division. Then we got the Broncos. I don't think this benefits them at all. They're on a roll. They're on momentum. I would say you keep the momentum going, you do better. So I don't think the bye benefits them only because if they get some rest, that's the only beneficial thing aspect of it. The Texans, it's beneficial to them because they have been fucking shitty. I don't care if they've been winning, they've been fucking shitty. They've been playing horrible. Not horrible. They just haven't been playing to the standard that people expect from them. So get some stuff done, regroup, see what's going on. My feeling is that the Texans' problems are internally. I think there's just a lot of divas in that locker room, and that's costing them. So good for you. Get some rest.
Sorry.
The Colts, it's beneficial to them because they're still struggling to find out a rhythm and an identity. They win games, but they don't win in a very dominant fashion. When they lose in a very disappointing fashion. So, try to keep going, try to stick to a rhythm and try to find out who you are as a team. The Patriots, it's beneficial to them because their season is over, so you're just going to decide what to do for the rest of the season and whatever games are left. Do they win out? Do they want to get from better draft picks? Just make a decision and just try to have fun, like you said earlier. And for last, the Commanders. Hey, Commanders, how's it feel to be the second place in the NFC East, baby? How does it feel, baby?
They know how it feels because they've been there for quite a while now, and they ain't going anywhere higher than that.
I mean, we're facing if they stay, if the records stay as it is, we're facing them in the divisional in the first wild card round. So But yeah, this is beneficial to them. They also get some rest. They've been balling out. They've been playing in a very very constant way where they've been trying to ball out and try to dominate. They obviously did not dominate the Eagles, haha. But you know they need some rest, and so that's beneficial for them. That's all I have to say about those teams. It was a really tough week last week. Every team had a game. It was a really long week. We had some great games. We had some bad games. But in the end, I think we had some fun last week. I think this week is going to be a little bit different. I don't think the games are going to be as strong as last week. But we have some fun games here. I'm going to be on X, formerly known as Twitter, finally. Soon I'll be giving out the details of what my username will be so you can follow me. Because I'm going to be live tweeting, Xing
Yeah.
the
No,
games.
it's Twitter, it's tweeting. I have nothing really. I nothing Elon. I don't care, but I ain't calling that shit X. It's fucking Twitter. Let's get real.
Whatever it is, I'm going to be live expressing myself during the games. Which game I'm going to watch during the 1 o'clock slate? Obviously, I'm going to be watching the Eagles and Panthers game. The 4 o'clock slate, I'm going to be watching the Seahawks and Cardinals game. Others day, I'm going to be watching Sunday Night Football, and I might watch Monday Night Football, but I'm not sure. Monday nights are very rough for me because work and family reasons. But I still try to watch them. Either way, just keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be posting that on my Instagram, the new football fan. So just keep an eye out for that.
New segment alert. I got some stats in from Adam
Oh,
here in the last 20 minutes. Adam has his own system. He writes his own formulas. He breaks things down on a much, much more in-depth level to look at the micro and the macro, the nuance of everything. It's not just your basic bullshit stats, and it's not PFF where he thinks he's watching film and knows what he's looking at like the fucking British clowns and Chris Collinsworth. But kind of gave me a weird smattering of teams, but he breaks it down. He's got offensive rankings, defensive rankings, scoring rankings, and then what he calls battle tested, which is sort of a takes into account who you've played, the schedule that you've played, road versus home game, shit like that. My Minnesota Vikings. 15th offense. They're the 10th passing offense, 24th rushing offense, third ranked defense, fifth in pass, first in rush, 10th in scoring, and sixth battle tested. Lions are top 4 in all major categories, top 6 in all subcategories. Bills are top 10 in everything. Ravens, his top offense. Texans, his top defense. Lions, top scoring team, obviously. And the Chiefs, top in battle tested because they have played a tough schedule. And then he gave me the Cowboys, which is just depressing. So I'm not going to.
hi, Adam.
That is what it is. Do you have any non-pick predictions for us other than Patrick Mahomes is going to get sacked twice and throw a bitch fit about it?
At least twice, I said.
At least twice.
At least, besides the fact that there's a lot of games where I believe you should bet the under because it's not going to be a high scoring game. I got nothing really. That's it for today. Honestly, I don't have any more predictions to make. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun week of games. Thursday Night Football is going to be really exciting. So can't wait for that tomorrow. As of we're recording, tomorrow will be Thursday Night Football.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. And I, of course, every 2 weeks I have a writers group meeting on Thursday, and it's like the last 2 hours of Thursday Night Football. And every week that I don't have a meeting, it's like Jaguars versus Browns on Amazon Prime. And then every time I am in a meeting, it's Packers Lions in a showdown for the division stakes. It's Mickey Mouse shit. But I will be present at the meeting, but my brain will be fully focused on Packers Lions.
I'll make sure to text you during the meetings just to annoy you, and then you can just say, "Hey, stop texting me."
No, I don't care. We're not even going over anything. We're just kind of gonna like bullshit around. So we'll see how it goes. But
if Tanner is in that group, the Buffalorian, then hi to Tanner.
Yeah, well, I need to get him on the show. He's ducking me, man. He's ducking me, and I say this, and he ain't gonna hear it because he don't even watch the show.
Oh.
Shouts out to everyone who watches the show. Special shout out to Co. I hope you're listening to this. I hope you're getting a workout in. Maybe you're on your way to work on the subway. And just for you, even though they're on bye, Broncos country. Let's ride.
Thank you so much for Saquon, Co. Thank you so much for Saquon.
Oh, Jesus. All right, well, that wraps it up. Went damn near 80 minutes here. If I can get this off in the next 13 seconds, which I won't be able to. Follow the show at Football Heads Show on Instagram with 2 S's, at Football Heads Show. Follow Caesar at Noob Football Fan on Instagram, Twitter coming soon. We'll have more details on that. Like, subscribe. Please, please, please comment. Tell us about your favorite team. What are we missing? What are we not talking about? What are the national media Muppets completely ignoring that we should be talking about so that we could be a superior show? Let us know. Tell your friends. Have fun. Caesar, thanks again for coming in. It's always a good time talking ball. Love to see it. Skol Vikings.
Go
Who the
Birds.
Eagles play? The Panthers? Yeah, I don't care. The Eagles can win. It doesn't bother me this week. Go Bills. Go Cardinals. Who else did I pick that you didn't pick? Go all those teams. I hope the Broncos. No, fuck the Rams. I hope they lose. Broncos, have a good bye week. We'll be back to riding next week. And until next time, next week, next show, as always, take it easy, football heads.
Move it, football head!